I recorded a video yesterday about documents, the topology of them, and documentness. But I was a big dum-dum, and I pushed the wrong scene button on OBS, so I have to now go back and stitch footage in. So that's not ready, so I'm going to do this instead. I was just sort of like up early this morning working on this guy. Actually, I am splitting these networks from the just general intertwingler stuff to the Sense Atlas front end now. And I was just sort of reflecting on like just the sheer amount of crap that I have had to invent just to get here. Like I am now using this tool. And I mean, I've used this, like I've had this thing, it's worked, rudimentarily for, don't mind the CSS, by the way. I haven't touched that yet. It is my ammo to rough stuff in if I need the widgets on the screen at all. And then I come in later and clean them up. That is how I do things. I'm sure that's how other people do things. But yeah, no, I mean, I was just thinking about like how this thing began its life as in 2012 as this vocabulary. And I mean, it's changed a bunch. And of course, this is an implementation of, where are we here? Oh, I don't even have that on the screen. Oh, I might actually. Yeah. Yeah. This is an implementation of this thing, issue-based information system, that has been around for 50 years or whatever. I made this in 2012 with the sort of like, twinkle in my eye that I would be able to implement it at some time, and I did a year later. And this process model stuff that I came up with is a sort of extension of that, or it became an extension of that, because I actually started this like in 2009. And these are data specifications. So like I had to go, when I made this thing, I wrote it in Perl in 2013. And it was like an interesting demo. But like the point of it was never to make this thing really, it was to test a technical thing. It was to test a protocol implementation that I had done for getting these things onto the server from a UI, basically, was all it did. And that turned out to be useful for sure. But the tool turned out to be useful, but it was always limited because it didn't have like certain essential components to really sort of beef it out and make it what it really could be. And that took another like full decade to get to the point that it was useful. And I mean, like when I sort of think about like stuff that I invented and like stuff that other people invented over those years, like stuff that I was waiting for that I didn't even know I was waiting for. Like just sort of the confluence of things. Like I've wanted to do sort of like a genealogy or history of this thing. Like all of the ideas, where they came from. And I think again, it starts for me at around like 2005, 2006, when I came up with this sort of idea for like a web substrate, which is what a lot of what intertwingler is. Like intertwingler is the application server. This thing is like the application running on the application server. And it's like I had to make intertwingler so that I could make Sense Atlas. Like the role of what intertwingler does is it makes this thing just like that much easier to develop. And when I think about like the time it's taken, and like a big reason why it took so long is because I wasted a lot of time trying to convince people that stuff like this is a good idea. And the problem is like they couldn't imagine what it would be like. And I had to actually like go and make the thing, and I have to like make a functioning thing before, people started taking an interest in it. And I mean, there's some like a very small number of people have like taken an interest in intertwingler proper, like just like the application server in general. Obviously, this is more, something to look at. So there's that. So, like, fine. I call it a sort of a no hand waving policy. So there's like a bunch of stuff that I want to do with like intertwingler's capabilities. Like just the ability to attach like arbitrary stuff to each other is huge, right? Like in a typical like web development system, you're doing crap with SQL and you've got to make a table for this and then make a table for that and you got to make some template for this. And, it's like this very sort of piece. Like every time you want to connect a new kind of thing to another kind of thing in a new kind of way, like that is actually really expensive. But like this costs almost freaking nothing. Like it's embarrassing like how little effort it takes at this juncture. So like, where I'm at right now, again, like I'm like finally at the point that I can like use this thing like as a tool to plan itself, which is sort of it's what I'm doing right now. Like I've got I'm like picking stuff out of this side and I'm putting it into the front end one. Again, these UIs, whatever, man, like we'll get to them. But this is a tool that I intend to use for the next, I'm going to say year or so, like in my consulting practice, because it's kind of one of those things that's going to need guidance. Cause like, I mean, not a lot of people in the world really know how to let her rip with this capability. And, it's going to be a lot of effort too. Like there's a bunch of crap that needs to be done with intertwingler itself. Like there's capabilities I want for this that are just, they're going to take like a lot of lift on the back end, which is fine. But like, that's like, I would call that kind of demand driven progress, And there's like a lot of just work in like packaging and up the app itself, or the app server rather itself. And just like a lot of schlep that's just going to have to happen over the next like year or so. But like, I'm cool with that because, man, we're cooking now. It works. And so I am going to finish my coffee.